So
Two. Oh, they do. They do not. Oh, my
they
mistake.
only have single and six.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will consider you firing full auto at no extra penalty because I screwed that up.
Okay. Okay.
Just make sure when you're looking at your weapon for future, please correct me because I'm not looking at all of your character sheets constantly to figure this shit out. Okay,
Understood.
you will be considered full autoing, so make sure you subtract 6 shots for the full auto.
Yep.
You will get three hits.
Okay. Roll damage.
So roll the damage 3 times. Okay. You deal, let's see, 12. You down this guy. So you pull out your auto pistol. This guy charged in and like sliced your chest armor apart and like cut your chest open to some degree. Not like to the point where like your guts are hanging out and shit, but he slices you and then you get all pissed off and you draw your auto pistol and you just fucking flip this thing on full auto and you just burst in 6 shots into this fucking guy, 3 of them managing to hit after the recoil like throws 3 into the wall in the ceiling. And one just strikes this dude right in the face, and this guy's head just fucking explodes right in front of you as you just like pump one shot that gets his head to explode, and then the other shot just like goes right down his spinal cavity and just like destroys his spinal cord as like blood and guts just start spewing out of his neck cavity, and then his body just like collapses to the floor.
That's why you don't fuck with my armor.
Okay, it is now no combat, but would both players please make me an awareness check? Jimmy, you will be taking an awareness check at -10 because you have to wipe some blood out of your eyes.
Oh,
Siegfried, would you like to spend a fate point to get that to pass?
I prefer to save them for dodges and stuff, to be honest.
Okay.
I've got my Luminator on, if that makes any difference.
It does not. You do not manage to hear and or see anything. I'm going to move this body just ever so slightly out of the way. Actually, screw it here. I'll move them over here by these bloodstains. That'll make cool sense. Okay, you move into this room.
I'm going to go and search these bodies.
I'm gonna go search this crate over here.
Okay. What are the player characters doing? I just have removed all fog of war that you should be able to see.
Alright. I'm checking the footlocker over here.
Okay, you check the footlocker. It is empty.
Okay.
What do the bodies have on them?
Siegfried, you check the left body. It has some dog tags, and the person is wearing a set of standard guard flak armor. There's nothing else of note on the body.
Is Jimmy's flak armor actually damaged, or was it just to?
I mean, it's damaged because he's dead.
No, I meant is Jimmy's flak armor.
Oh, Jimmy's flak armor is damaged. Not like damaged to the degree that this guy's is damaged. Anyone that is considered dead has been like ripped to shreds.
Okay.
You could probably start salvaging parts out of the flak armor if you want to attempt to do that, like the good parts, and then like combine them eventually over time to make a undamaged set of flak armor.
I'm fine. If Jimmy wants to do that, since he's the technician.
Yeah, sure. I'll make some armor.
Okay.
I'll check the other body too.
Okay, so as Jimmy is rummaging through the footlocker, and Siegfried, you are checking that body. You hear rapid movement behind you, and a enemy unit charges into combat with you, Siegfried, when you are not aware of it, because you had your back turned. It will get a attack on you at plus 20 because you are unaware. It barely manages to hit. Would you like to dodge?
I will attempt to dodge.
You will take your dodge at, I was going to say minus 10, because you are not currently aware of this attack. So
I'll add a fate point for that to make it give me an extra 10.
Okay, you will negate the negative then, and you will succeed the dodge. You are now locked in combat with this unit. Okay, it is Siegfried's turn. I'm not gonna make you guys reroll.
I'm going to half action draw my auto pistol and shoot full auto at this thing.
Okay.
I managed to get 2 hits, and I managed to do a 7 and a 3.
Okay. It is now the Gene Stealer's turn. It will make an attack on you. Failing to hit. Jimmy, it is your turn.
Alright, well, I'm gonna, I guess, pull out my auto gun and go for a single shot.
You mean your last gun, don't you?
Or, yeah, last gun, sorry.
I mean, you could shoot your auto pistol. You already have it drawn.
This is true. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the auto pistol just because it's already there. So I'm gonna do a half aim. Not point blank, so my short range or standard range?
You should be
Short
considered
range.
close range. I mean, you're under.
Short.
Yeah, you're 10 meters away. You should be close range if a pistol is 20.
Alright, so short range, standard shot, modifier 10 for the red dot.
You do not get a red dot on the pistol.
Oh.
You only get it on the weapon you equipped it, and I assume that you equipped it on your last gun.
Oh, okay. So let me. Sorry.
That's fine. It'll just turn into a 39. It does not matter.
Oh, okay.
So you scored a hit. Go ahead and roll the damage. You deal 5 damage. The bullet ricochets off the armor and hits the ceiling.
Okay.
Siegfried, it is now your turn.
I'm going to try and shoot it again.
Okay. With what?
Auto pistol, I'll fire a single shot.
Okay. You score a hit. Doing 8 damage. Okay, it is now the Gene Stealer's turn. It fails to hit. These Tyranids are really, really ass at melee, apparently. Alright, Jimmy, it is now your turn.
Alright, go for the single shot again.
Okay, with the auto pistol, or are you half-actioning to pull out your last gun?
I'll half action pull out the last gun.
Okay, are you firing the weapon on overcharge or on standard charge?
Standard charge.
Okay, go ahead and roll the hit then.
Aim, Short range. Standard. Modifier. Since I'm not aiming, I don't get the red dot, right?
No, the red dot on your las gun, anytime you fire a single shot, regardless of whether you're aiming or not, will give you a +10.
Okay. Alright.
Alright, you score a hit. You deal 5 damage, and the shot seems to, like, sizzle on the armor.
Okay.
Okay, Siegfried, it is your turn.
I'm going to try and shoot it again.
Okay. I'm assuming you're firing single, like last time then?
Yep.
Alright, you managed to score a hit. Alright, you managed to hit it. It appears to pierce the armor, and it kind of flinches. It is now the Gene Stealer's turn. It manages to hit. Would you like to roll your dodge?
Yep.
You fail to dodge. It deals 12 pen 4 damage. Unless you would like to spend your fate point to reroll your dodge test.
Yeah, I'll reroll my dodge if I can.
Because I just realized you have multiple dodges, or multiple fates.
I roll exactly the same.
Okay, unfortunately you failed to dodge, and take 12 pen 4. And don't feel bad, I have had that happen to me before in the session that I do not GM tomorrow. I have spent fate points and rolled the exact same thing. Will that be enough to put you into criticals? Okay, no, it is not. Alright. Jimmy, it is now your turn. You have noticed that Siegfried has just got his chest sliced open.
Alright, I'm gonna kind of rush into combat here. Kind of take his spot here. I think he has less health than I do at this point.
So are you charging into combat, or are you just moving closer?
Charging.
Okay, you charge into combat. What would you like to use in melee?
You can stab with my knife.
Okay. You have still not attached your knife to your lasgun, so it only counts as a knife in melee.
Okay.
For future, I would recommend that you attach your knife to your lasgun and use it as a bayonet, because on the charge it will count as a spear for the first turn of combat.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna I'm gonna charge in, drop my knife, and
I would, as the GM, I will give you some free advice.
Yeah.
You should probably just charge into combat and try shooting him with your pistol. But you can't do that on the charge. So
yeah.
So next turn, if he's still alive.
Okay. So then should I just roll for stab with knife, or?
Well, you have to roll the hit first, which would be your weapon skill since you're in combat. And since you charged into combat, it is a +30 modifier.
30 modifiers.
You managed to hit.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll your knife damage. Okay, you deal 7 damage. You manage to get the knife in between some of the armor of his scaly skin, and you see some blood appear on your knife. Siegfried, it is now your turn.
I will try and shoot it again.
Okay. Have you been tracking your auto pistol ammunition? Just as a
Yes, I have. I
Okay.
currently have 2 shots left in the clip, and 1 clip left.
Okay. You manage to hit, and you deal 10 damage, which is enough to down the Tyrannid. So you shoot this guy, and as per usual, your shot penetrates the armor, deals enough damage, it screams out in pain as some blood and shit goes to the floor, and it collapses down onto the ground. It might be breathing a little bit, but then Jimmy kind of comes up and stabs it again with his knife, like 5 times.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake the booty.
You are now out of combat.
Siegfried, I think we need a rest for a little bit here.
Let's go see if the medic can do anything for us.
Would both players please make me an awareness check? Both players do not hear or notice anything. What would the players like to do? You are aware that there is a room in here.
I'm going to finish quickly checking what this guy has on him, then I'm going to go back and see the medic.
Yeah, same here. Take a rest and then get back to it.
You search that guy. He has a broken auto pistol that looks like it got almost chopped in half by like some kind of claw and some bullets. You can find 8 auto pistol bullets on his body and inside the magazine combined. Some of the bullets are also damaged, so that's why you only find 8. You can use them to reload your magazine as a free action if you would like.
Okay.
What would the player characters like to do?
I'm going to go back to the medic and have him have a look at us.
Okay, you go back, and Two Hands is sitting in there with Frank. He will attempt to roll Medicae on both player characters. And I will also regenerate his 1 fate point, because he might have to spend it. And he also generates 3 extra wounds. Okay, he will attempt... Who would like to go first, Jimmy or Siegfried?
Sorry. I'll go first.
Okay, Jimmy. Let me double check because I'm quite sure he had a medical bag, which does something.
I'm trying to remember if I have that.
Plus 20 to med tests. Okay, so he will roll Medicae on Jimmy first. He'll get a plus 20 because he has a medical bag. Unfortunately, he fails. I will use his 1 fate point to reroll that.
You can use a fate point to give him plus 10 to a roll rather than a full reroll.
Oh, that's true. Alright, here, I'll leave it up to you, Jimmy. Would you rather have him reroll or just pass it? The degrees of success that he gets on Medicaid will account to how much wounds you get back. So if he only succeeds by 1, that would be less wounds than if he succeeded with 6.
Let's see what happens with the reroll.
Okay, he will reroll it. He manages to almost critically succeed it. So you get 7 plus, I believe it's his intelligence bonus back. So you get 11 wounds back.
I'm at full health.
Okay, Siegfried, it is now your turn. He will be rolling a Medicae test at plus 20 because he has a medical kit. You get 3 plus 4, so you get 7 wounds back.
Okay.
And he'll kind of medicate Jimmy a little bit, too, just on the side. Jimmy will now be considered not wounded enough to where he needs to be, like, assisted around. He can now move by himself.
Frank, you mean?
Or yeah, Frank, my bad.
Guess who's coming with us then?
Okay, Frank will come with you. Let me real quick give him some wounds.
Does he have a gun and ammo, or is he just... Because he had a las gun and we didn't loot him, so...
1 second. How many wounds do... Okay, he has...
In the back of the only war book, there are stats for the basic guardsman.
No, I know. I'm just... Do you see Frank's name by chance?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why, but okay. There you go. He now has some wounds. So Frank agrees that he will come with you. He is currently armed with a damaged las gun, and he has a 1/4 charge las gun pack and 1 frag grenade. So he currently he currently does not have a functional weapon.
We can give him one of the las guns from the box, and if he's able to use flame weapons, the flamer.
You could give him a las pistol. You do not have a las gun available.
Oh, then we'll give him the las pistol and the flamer.
Jimmy, you could attempt to fix his las gun. It is not like that critically damaged to where it is unrepairable. You could also attempt to do that instead of giving him a las pistol.
All right, I can. Yeah, should I roll tech use?
Yep, roll a tech use at -20 because you could remove the -20, and I will give you a +20 to that roll if you sacrifice one of the las pistols in the safe and use it for spare parts to try to fix the las gun.
Yeah, sure.
Are you in agreement there, Philip?
Yeah.
Okay, I will reduce the las pistol in the safe to 1. You can get a +20 to your save, or I mean to your roll for tech use.
All right.
You managed to barely repair it. It will lose the reliable trait, but it will be functional. So he is now armed with a las gun with a 1/4 charge las pack and 1 frag grenade.
Okay.
I wish there was a way to copy character sheets.
So Frank now has the flamethrower.
No, he has a las gun.
Okay. I was going to...
You could give him the flamethrower, but he does not have flame training.
Oh, never mind then. I mean, none of us do, so... Just give him the las gun, I suppose. And I'm going to say Rossetti, since he's not here, will willingly give him one of his las cells, because he doesn't really want to leave the room, and any excuse to have someone else do it for him is great. Just so that Frank has an actual full las pack.
Alright, if you would just 1 second. I know that you're going to give him one, but I have to real quick actually roll up a character sheet for him because I was not expecting him to actually be used as a main player.
Well, if Serene was here, we wouldn't have to, but...
So just give me like 2 minutes so that I can carry over some equipment and stats. Would someone please roll me a 1d10?
Sure. I typed that in wrong.
Yes, you did.
There's your roll.
Okay, Frank has 1 fate point. My apologies for this, I'm almost done.
Okay.
On the bright side, if we get a new character in, we can just claim it was Frank all along.
Possibly.
Depends if Frank dies.
Ah, he'll be fine. He's already almost died once. It makes him invincible.
Alright, I will fill in some of the other information for him later, but he at least now has a usable character sheet. Okay, what would the players like to do?
What was our mission again?
You are trying to figure out what the hell happened to the engineer
Right.
in engine room 1, which is behind bulkhead room 1, and why he is not reported in, and why he has not fixed the engine.
Okay. So, are we gonna head through this door, or?
That
Yeah,
that
do
is
that.
that is up to the player characters.
All right, Siegfried, you want to head through? Frank, take up the rear.
You walk in, you don't see anything other than an open vent in the ceiling as per usual, and 2 dead bodies.
Search the bodies.
I will search this one.
I'll search
Please
this one.
grab his dog tags if you can. I'll take him if
Okay.
need be.
I'll grab
I'm
the dog
making
tag and what else is
personal
here?
mission to gather every single dog tag of every dead trooper we come across.
Okay. So what is on the bodies, GM?
Also, real quick, you said that you gave Frank a las pack.
Yeah, we got Rossetti to give him one, so Rossetti is happy to stay in the armory room where
Okay,
it is safe.
let me see if Rossetti has a spare las pack.
If he is Acadian, he should have. Well, no, he should have 3, I think. Not counting the
He
one
has
gun, but
he had 2 spares. I will reduce it down to 1.
hope he turns up. We kind of need a medic. At worst, we can just have him as the guy in that room that we go back to when we get hurt.
Yeah.
He'll be like the merchant from Resident Evil 4, except less useful.
True.
Okay. Okay, done. So the player characters walk in. You see 2 dead bodies. One of them is by the engines. Well, actually, they're both by the engines, but one of them looks like a standard guardsman, and the other one looks like some kind of engineer. What would the players like to do?
I will search the body of this guy here, depending on which he is.
Yeah, I'm gonna search the body of this guy right over here.
Okay,
Frank will be watching with his gun pointed at the vent.
Okay. You start rummaging through this guy. You find some tools, maybe some fuses and stuff. Nothing of like high importance. He has damaged flak armor. It appears that he was some kind of engineer that looked like he was working on it.
The one I'm searching?
Correct.
Okay, I'll give the parts to Jimmy, because he could probably use them, hopefully, to fix the engines.
Okay, Jimmy, you can acquire engine parts. It will be 10 kilograms.
10 kilograms, okay.
Hopefully we'll be able to use them immediately as you fix the engine.
Yes, because otherwise I am pretty sure he will be taking significant fatigue very quickly trying to carry that crap around.
Yeah. Do I find anything on this body over here?
You search that body, you find very similar stuff. It just seems to be another engineer. He does seem to be of a higher class, though. He does have a multi-tool.
Okay.
On him, and he his hand is like inside the engine. It like looked like he was working on it, and something came and like sliced his back open. His like spine is exposed and everything, and like he died trying to fix the engine.
All right. Well, he died doing what he loved. Can I take the multi-tool?
You already have a multi-tool.
Okay.
You could take it, but I do not believe a multi-tool does anything.
Now you have multi tools.
Yeah.
I'll just see
the multi-tool is basically just like a screwdriver, a can opener. It doesn't do much.
Okay.
The combi tool is the like tech priest version of a multi-tool that actually does something.
I will take the multi-tool because it might come in useful.
Okay. The multi-tool, you can add it to your inventory, and it will weigh.
Oh wait, I already have one. Never mind.
Okay, then I assume
basic tool.
Yep.
Is that a basic toolkit?
Yeah, it's basically a basic toolkit. If you're taking it, it will weigh 0.5 kilograms.
And I'm going to go hand the dog tag over to Siegfried.
Okay, Siegfried, you acquire another dog tag. Jimmy, you take 1 level of fatigue for walking over to Siegfried with being overweight.
Alright. Wow, is that a fat joke?
Kind of.
I'll come over and get the dog tags as you and give you the parts as you stuff into the engine.
Okay, then Siegfried, you take 1 level of fatigue for walking over to Jimmy with the parts.
Oh, Frank and I'll carry it.
Wait, so what is my? I don't have any like fatigue threshold or current.
Your fatigue threshold is your toughness and strength bonus combined, I believe. If I remember offhand.
Nice and bonus.
So are you asking Frank to stop watching the vent and being on Overwatch and assist you carrying the parts over to Jimmy?
Nah. Can I take them in on a number of trips?
You could, as if you want to waste time.
I don't really want to take a level of fatigue.
Okay. You can spend like 20 minutes making like 5 trips to get him all the parts.
So I'll essentially grab him whenever he says he needs it, fixing the engine.
Okay.
So he will tell me to go get the thing, and I'll run over to the corpse.
Okay. Well, keep in mind you're not aware of whether or not the engine works or not. Jimmy has not identified any problems.
No, I haven't quite looked yet. I'm still trying to figure out what my toughness and strength bonuses are.
What's your toughness?
Toughness is 30, strength is 30.
So then your overall bonus is 6 because you would get 3 from strength and 3 from toughness. Your bonus is always the first digit of whatever characteristic I tell is being associated with it.
Okay. So then current 1 fatigue.
We rested Seer on 0.
He just acquired 1.
Ah.
Well, I mean, he wouldn't acquire one if you're spending 20 minutes constantly like going back and forth carrying small amounts of the parts instead of just giving him all the parts.
So is fatigue strength and toughness?
I'm 90% sure it's fatigue and toughness combined. Both the bonuses would be your threshold. I could look it up later. I'm not really willing to look it up now. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Okay.
And if it's not, I'm probably just going to roll with it anyway. Because I would imagine that strength and toughness would be the 2 things that would resist fatigue.
So Jimmy, your turn. Time to shine. Fix the engine because the guys are dead and they're not going to fix it.
Alright. Well, cover me.
You can...
Frank,
Jimmy...
I'm going to work to fix the engines.
Jimmy, you can find a note on the one guy that you searched who seemed to be the head engineer. It's covered in blood. Could you make me... let me see what skill would probably be the... Could you make me a logic test? Would probably be the best. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Make me an awareness test followed by a logic test. The awareness test will be to attempt to decipher what the hell... Or like to read through the blood-stained paper, and then logic will be to decipher it.
Okay. So I failed the awareness. And then, so I have a tick in logic that's plus 10, right?
If you get more than 5 degrees of logic, I will let you ignore the awareness test.
Okay.
You do not get 5 degrees of success. So you have this sheet of paper that has some stuff written on it, but it's covered in blood, and you're like, I just can't read this guy's handwriting, and it's covered in blood. The only thing you can make out is at the top it says, like, issues with engine.
This would be real useful if I could read this.
I will try and read it with an awareness check.
Yeah, I'm going to hand it off to Siegfried. Try to read this. Tell me what's going on, buddy.
Siegfried, it will be the same thing. It will be an awareness followed by a perception. Or, I mean, a logic. But you failed the...
I have no idea. No, I don't have logic.
Alright, you try reading this thing. You cannot figure out what the hell it says. Although you do critically succeed your... Or is that critical? Yeah, I think critical is 1 to 5.
Yeah.
So you do critically succeed the logic. You can probably take a good guess that you're like, well, I can't really read what this says, but he says, like, parts in engine 1. So that's, like, the only thing I can get. So probably these parts that this guy had, he was trying to put in engine 1 before he died.
Okay. So, and I'm assuming the one over by Siegfried is engine 1?
You can read that the left engine is engine 2 and the right engine is engine 1.
Alright, well, I'm going to come over here to engine 1 and I'm going to start repairing it.
Go ahead and make me a tech. Go ahead and take me a tech use test. You will get a +5 because of the knowledge that you probably need to use certain parts.
Okay.
You pass the tech use. You manage to figure out, like, oh shit, like, this whole thing over here is blown out, and you just so happen to have the correct part for this. And you plug it in, and the engine kind of, like, springs to life to a degree. It didn't start, but, like, the red emergency light that the engine is not working has now turned to, like, yellow that it is ready to be turned on.
Okay. Siegfried, can you find the on switch for this one? I'm going to head over to the other one quick.
I will try and find the on switch, being a guardsman and having absolutely no idea what the hell that might look like.
Siegfried, could you please make me a tech use test? You find this control panel with like 100 buttons on it and switches and knobs and stuff. And it seems to be very poorly labeled. Alright, you get 4 degrees of failure, and you are convinced that this big red button is the on button.
I will go tell Jimmy this.
So
as a guardsman, I've been taught not to press buttons.
You are convinced that this button is the button that you press, and you say, Jimmy, I think I found it. I'm going to press this big red button. Jimmy, can you please make me an awareness check to see across the room before he presses that button?
Regulations are anything to do with tech, you go find the engine seer, and Jimmy's the closest thing we have to an engine seer. So he told me to find it. I'll find it and say I think I found it.
Yes, but he also told you to turn it on.
Oh, did you? Oh, hang on.
Okay. How bad? Oh dear God.
Jimmy kind of glances over as he like starts inspecting engine 2, and he's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And Siegfried takes that as, "Okay, that's the right button." And Siegfried presses the button. Siegfried, would you please roll me a 1d10? 10 being worse, 1 being the best possible situation. Okay. You press this button, and like the engine starts making weird noises and starts churning and shit, and then like the yellow button or the yellow light flashes off, and then the red light flashes back on, and the engine starts making like a and starts making grinding noises and shit, and then it goes like it starts making like a sound, and then it bursts into flames. Like a small portion of it starts bursting into flames.
I'm going to press the button again and then hope there is a fire extinguisher on one of the walls. At which point I will run over to it, grab it, and start using it.
Okay, you press the button again, and the engine starts to turn. And the flame starts, like, spewing out. You could probably take an educated guess that somehow this has managed to do something that managed to, like, cut a fuel line or something, and like this fuel line is now leaking, and the engine is turning, and it's leaking onto the spinning part of the engine, so it is now throwing the lit fuel onto the floor. You can
shout to Jimmy to turn it off, and then Frank and I are gonna. Oh, actually, no. Frank's gonna stay watching various things.
You can find a fire extinguisher on the wall over here quite easily. This is an engine room. There would be a fire extinguisher in here.
Yeah, I'm going to be fire extinguishing while Jimmy tries to fix this.
Yeah, I'm running over here to this fucking tech panel because someone's an idiot.
Okay, Jimmy, please make me a tech use test.
Any modifiers?
You are frantically trying to do this, -5.
Jesus.
You manage to press enough buttons frantically to get the engine to emergency shutdown. Siegfried, okay. Please roll me a the hell would it would be it would be agility to try to prevent yourself from being caught on fire, but yeah, go ahead and roll me a ballistic skill test to see if you could hit the fire with the fire extinguisher. You are not trained with a fire extinguisher, so you're getting -20, but because it is a fire extinguisher and you are frantically spraying it all over the place, you get a +20, so just take it at base.
9.
Okay, you managed to spray down the engine and the floor and your feet because it threw some fuel on your feet too. So you managed to put out the fire. The fire extinguisher is now like 80% empty, if you wanted to actually keep the fire extinguisher.
I'm going to go and prop it up against the wall back where it was. And then I'm going to tell Jimmy to fix this, and then I'm going to go back and do what I do best, which is watching the door. So while Frank watches the vent, I watch the door. And if Jimmy wants me to do anything else, he can go suck it, because we saw how well that went.
Okay, Jimmy, please make me a tech use test to try to determine what the hell went wrong with the engine and whether or not you could fix it.
Any modifiers?
It will be at base, but remember that you always get a bonus because you have a combi tool, which I do not think you've been adding.
No, I have not. Oh, +10 to tech use. Shit. I forgot about that combi tool. Hey.
That was a good roll. You should be proud of that roll.
Alright,
I'll write home about it.
You managed to figure out that when Siegfried pressed that red button, he failed to press the, like, prep fuel ignition switch, and, like, it sprayed too much fuel into it before it combusted and, like, burst the fuel hose. If you replace the fuel hose, you can probably get the engine up and running.
Do I have a fuel hose?
You do not have a fuel hose.
Do we have duct tape?
You You could probably use some like Imperial standard tool stuff to like cut the hose and like jimmy it together. You could do that if you take another tech use test and have at least 2 degrees of success. You can jimmy the hose without requiring a replacement hose.
What's that engineering room? Would there be fuel hoses in that engineering room?
Would there be spare parts in that?
We do not currently have access to. Oh yeah, yeah, you do have access to that room.
Yeah.
You could probably find some. Yes, if you walked all the way over there.
I'm gonna drop the engine parts for right now and kind of like leave them.
So I don't take the box.
I have put that there only to put the fire extinguisher in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Can I put the engine parts in there?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I'm gonna put the engine parts in there.
The remaining engine parts.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of like keep them there, but I'm just gonna change this to 0 for right now because I don't feel like retyping it later. So I'm gonna head back to engineering. Siegfried or Frank, do you want to come with me?
We will both go with you because there is safety in numbers.
Fair. Let's roll.
Okay. You spend like 15 minutes walking across the base or the ship to get to that room. You get to that room, you can manage to find some hoses. No issue.
Okay. I forget which room it was. Was it?
It is this. It is this one.
Okay. Alrighty.
I will put another 6 dog tags in the safe with the dog tags.
Okay. So how much should I type in for the hoses?
What is each dog tag weigh, Siegfried? I know I put that number down for you.
I think it was 0.1. 0.1 per dog tag because they're literally just little metal slices.
Okay. You have 18 dog tags in the safe. Jimmy, you can acquire a hose. The hose will just weigh nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Alrighty. So I'm gonna head on back to the engine room and fix up this hose.
Okay. To make the test, you can go ahead and take a tech use test at +10.
Okay. I'm gonna make my way back there real fucking quick. Test +10.
You managed to repair the engine again.
Okay.
The engine is back to yellow, prepared to prep to turn on.
Okay, Siegfried, don't touch anything this time. I'm gonna go fix the other one and turn them both on myself.
You can turn them on independently. It does not matter.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay, then I'm gonna go turn this one on myself.
You turn it on because you've already identified the startup procedure.
Yes. Moving to the other one. Well, I'm gonna grab the engine parts quick, and then I'm gonna go fix the other one.
You roll me a tech use test. I will give you an additional 5 degrees on the test for every 10 minutes that you spend trying to identify the engine's issue, if it has one.
Okay, well, then I'll be working on trying to figure out what was going on with this one, because there's clearly a bigger issue.
Well, again, how long would you like to spend identifying the issue?
I'll spend 20 minutes.
Okay. You inspect this engine, and there appears to be nothing critically wrong with it. You could probably turn it on. Okay. Although you should probably take that guy's hand out of the engine first.
Good idea. I move over, take out his hand, start walking back to turn it on.
All right, you move his body over here so it is not like in the engine, and then you turn it on. It turns on.
As he gets ready to turn it on, I'll go pick up the fire extinguisher and keep it ready.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Have some faith in me.
Then I will put the fire extinguisher back.
Okay. Both engines are now on and working. They make a metallic hum as they are fully functional now. Jimmy, you still have the engine parts. If you would like to continue carrying them, they will weigh 5 kilograms.
Ooh, we got that other engine. Yes, I would like to continue.
Generator. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let us go
True.
and try and fix the
Yeah.
generator.
So we're gonna move for the damaged generator and see if these engine parts can help.
Siegfried, are you going to carry the fire extinguisher with you, or leave it in that footlocker?
I'm not.
Okay, I will remove the end.
Should I bring it? I'll bring it just for the damaged generator. After that, I'm probably gonna ditch it.
Okay. Please note that it weighs 2 kilograms and it only has 20% left. Jimmy, please note that the parts weigh 5 kilograms.
Noting.
Which amazingly does not still put you overweight. Okay, I'm assuming you're taking Frank with you.
Yep.
Yeah, he's coming with us.
Alright, Jimmy, if you would like to attempt to try to figure out if you can fix this damaged generator, go ahead. Roll me a tech use test.
Okay.
How much time would you like to do it, by the way?
I'll take another 20 minutes.
Alright, that'll be a plus 10. Okay, you inspect this generator. It is repairable. It is only working at about 10% of its current capacity, and as I previously said, it has rerouted like 95% of the 10% of power that it has to get the bulkhead doors working, and the other 5% is basically to the emergency lighting.
Well, at this point, I want to get this thing up to at least 65%, just so we can get some lights in here, like better lighting.
You could repair it, but unfortunately, the engine parts are not compatible with the generator. They are like two completely different sets of parts. The engine parts are for like the straight up warp engine kind of parts. This generator requires like small engine / generator parts.
Let's see if we can find any of them in the engineering room.
For future reference, please change your engine parts to heavy engine parts.
Okay, I was actually just going to ditch the engine parts, quite honestly, but I'll change them and put them in engineering for now.
Okay. You walk all the way down to engineering. I will... are you putting it inside that footlocker?
Yes.
Okay, I will add it to the footlocker.
And then did I find generator parts in there too?
I'll put the fire extinguisher in there too. Because that seems like a good place for it.
Okay, you have a fire extinguisher with 20% left, which weighed 2 kilograms, I believe. So what I said. Okay, and you have heavy engine parts, which weigh 5 kilograms.
This reminds me of Resident Evil 2.
What I'm making you guys do?
Yeah, pretty much. But
also, it will cost about 10 minutes to walk down and 10 minutes to walk back to engineering back to the damaged generator. If you're just gonna end up right back where you start.
Yeah. I'm happy to do that. I'll munch away on a ration while I'm doing it.
Okay. Jimmy, are you going to eat a ration? Because it has probably been about 12 hours now.
Yeah, sure. I'll take some time and eat a ration.
Okay. You both eat a ration. Siegfried, you can regenerate 1 wound. And I will let Frank regenerate 1 wound too. Frank does not have his own rations, though. Will one of you share a ration pack with Frank?
Yeah, I'll give him.
Or you can give him the ration pack that you have stored in the safe.
Yeah, we'll give him that. That's easier.
Okay.
So we're gonna need to find food soon.
All right.
Yeah.
One week's ration has been subtracted from the safe, and I will give it to Frank.
Well, I suppose I have 2 weeks and I've eaten 3 days.
Yeah,
So
we really don't need to.
So I'll be good. I'll be good for the rest of the day, right?
You will be good for about the next 12 hours. You should probably eat about 1 ration pack every 12 hours, because you're supposed to sleep about 12 hours. Is this the way I'm going to keep this like super easy?
If you mention when 12 hours passes and we're feeling hungry,
You could choose not to eat for 12 hours.
Okay.
If you choose not to eat for 12 hours, you will suffer 2 fatigue.
Well, I'll be, I'll use 1 day's ration pack per 12 hours. So I'll be eating however much that will be.
Okay. I will fix up a little bit of the map to make it a little bit easier for you to identify it by removing extra fog of war. What would the player characters like to do? You have managed to repair the engine, which was your objective that Dukar gave you.
I will guard Jimmy as he tries to fix the generator because some nice lighting would be good around now.
So did I find generator parts in there?
Roll me a tech use test at +20 to see if you can identify what parts that you need for the generator in the shelves and shelves of random shit that's in that room. You are unable to figure out what parts you need.
Fuck.
You could spend your fate point to re-roll it.
No, I'm gonna keep that fate point. I have a feeling I'm gonna need it later on.
Okay. You are unable to figure out the parts that you need, so therefore you do not acquire parts. So Jimmy will tell Siegfried, he's like, man, there's just so many parts here, I can't find what I need. It's not that it's not here, it's just I can't find it.
Alright. So
Siegfried, if you want, I will allow you to take a tech use test, and if you succeed, I will give, for every degree of success, I will carry it over to Jimmy. Because Jimmy could tell you what you're looking for, and then maybe you could help him find it. I will do the same thing for Frank. Frank does not manage to find anything. Siegfried, would you like to roll it, or do you not want to roll it?
I think his internet cut out again.
Philip.
Give him a second.
No, yep, he just went offline.
Yeah.
I will pull up his character sheet and I will roll it for him. Oh, there he is.
Okay. There we go. Philip.
We cannot hear you if you're talking.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. I dropped.
You're having a really bad internet day, aren't you, buddy?
Yeah.
I will allow Siegfried to roll a tech use test to try to assist Jimmy with finding the part. Jimmy will tell you like what he's looking for, and if you can succeed the tech use test for every degree that you succeed it, I will carry it over to Jimmy.
Do I get any bonuses? Because otherwise I'd say you should spend a fate point.
You can get a +5 for every like 10 minutes that you spend trying to figure it out. Which Jimmy spent 20 minutes doing, so you can only spend up to 20 minutes.
So that would be +10 then.
You do not manage to assist Jimmy. Jimmy is still convinced that he cannot find these parts.
I would fate point that, if you have any, Jimmy, because we could use the lights. I'm sure it probably powers the elevators as well.
Okay, well, alright, fine. I was pretty sure I was going to need it later, but let's
How much extra time would you like to spend trying to find this part?
I'm going to spend an extra 40 minutes looking for the parts.
Okay, you can...
Can we just keep looking for them?
If you would like to spend 2 hours right now trying to find these parts, I will just automatically let you succeed the test.
We might as well spend 2 hours.
Yeah, I'll spend the 2 hours looking, so I can keep my fate point then.
You could keep your fate point, yes, but you will lose 2 hours of time.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, you bet.
I will take turns helping and take turns going on Overwatch to make sure we don't get ambushed.
Okay,
yeah.
You spend 2 hours doing this. You hear some shit going on in the distance, but you don't seem to be making a loud enough noise to warrant them actually finding and or attacking you. Okay, you go back to the generator with some generator parts. Please make me a tech use test to fix the generator. You will get a plus 10 for having the parts, and a plus 5 for every 20, well, I'll go 30 minutes at this rate. For every 30 minutes you want to spend fixing the generator past just like trying to shove parts in it and get it fixed, you will get a plus 5.
Alright, I'm going to spend about an hour doing that, so...
Your overall bonus is plus 20.
And then is that with the tool?
No, your tool would be separate, so that would be another plus 10.
30 then.
You managed to put the parts in this thing and get it up and running.
Okay.
I will change this from damaged to just generator. You got the generator functioning with the parts at about 50%. There are a little like panel pops up and says like generator 50% operational, power output 50%, blah blah blah, and then it'll ask you where would you like to route the extra power. Currently, out of the 50% of the power available, you have about 10% of it going to the like getting bulkhead doors working, and the other 40% is, well, another 5% is used for emergency lighting currently. So you have about 35% or so power that you can route to different systems. You can route it to regular. You can route it to regular lighting. You can route it to elevators. You could route it to some internal devices, which is unspecified currently.
All right. I'm gonna route 15% to the lighting, so that'll give us 20% for lighting, and then the last of it to the elevators.
Okay. You can use one elevator at a time.
Okay.
And the general lighting in the entire level has now increased. So you
don't really need the elevators yet. You should try putting it to whatever that, I'm going to point at the unspecified device, is. Maybe we'll be lucky and it'll be turrets or something, and then I'll shrug and go back to guarding stuff.
Alright. Well, screw the elevators then, because we can just take stairs, I guess. Let's put on the unspecified device with what's left after the lights instead.
Okay.
Show me some turrets.
One second, I'm trying to see if they have a free...
I know that's unbelievably optimistic to think it's turrets, but hey. We could always reroute the power later if we need the elevators.
Exactly, that's... yeah, we can definitely do that.
We might even be able to, if we can, hook up our charge packs to this thing and drain some power from it.
Alright, I am just going to put that there so that I have something that I can put what this is doing, so... Alright, so it is currently powering bulkheads, which I said was, what, 20%? I mean, you're going to max this out anyway, so let me just... whatever. So you're going to do bulkheads and lighting.
5% emergency power, and then we had like 20% or something to use. We have 50% now, I think. It was on. No, you were right. It was 20% bulkheads, I think.
Okay, the unspecified equipment, I'm just going to make this simple, and we'll take the remainder of the power. So you can power the bulkhead, lighting, emergency equipment, and other equipment if you max out the 50% right now.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Do we have any idea what the unspecified equipment is?
You can make me a tech use test to try to figure it. Actually, make it a logic test. Both of you could make a logic test.
Logic test. Any modifiers?
And no modifiers.
Can I try and help him rather than make it a logic test? Because I can't pass.
No.
I have no
I
logic.
would have said you could have if you passed, but no.
For an engineer, I sure am a fucking idiot.
Both of you are convinced that this just does general shit, like open non-bulkhead doors and stuff.
All right. Well,
Jimmy could probably make the educated guess that like computer panels and like diagnostic shit like in walls can probably like be powered up now, but past that he doesn't know. You hear a crackle over your micro bead, and it's coming from Commander Dukar reporting that some monitors in his room have now powered on, and it is reporting that the engine is now functional. He says, good job. I'm glad to see that you didn't die in there. Please report back to me.
Before we go back to him, I will go and collect the dog tags so that I can slip them under the door.
Okay.
I'm highly gonna doubt that Dukar is gonna care, but please go get dog tags.
You can carry 18 dog tags at 1.8 kilograms combined weight. And assuming that does not put you overweight, then you're fine.
No, while he's grabbing those, I'm gonna go, because you said there were diagnostic monitors in here, right? I'm gonna run diagnostics.
You mean in the generator room?
Yeah.
There is a like panel connected to the generator. You can run a diagnostic and it'll tell you that the generator is running at 50% capacity.
I was thinking there was like a more diagnostic than just see.
It will tell you. In terms of that, it will tell you that like the coils have been damaged and need to be replaced, along with some other stuff.
I can come back and do that later. I'm gonna start heading back towards what's his face, your car.
Okay, is Siegfried and Frank coming with?
Yeah,
What
I'll go with
his
him.
Frank is?
I will follow him to the room. And Frank will probably come with us.
Okay, you get back to the bulkhead and you press the button on the door, and your car reports again, good job, blah, blah, blah. You want to say anything to him, or should I just continue with what Dukar will be talking about?
I'll inform him that I've got the dog tags of the fallen soldiers to give him, and ask him if I can slip them under the door.
He reports that he has no need for that currently. You're welcome to carry them, and he congratulates you on upholding the honor of the other fallen guardsmen by retrieving their dog tags from their body, and that eventually, if we get out of this situation alive, that they will be remembered for serving the Emperor and blah 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 blah. He is not interested in obtaining them.
Fair enough. Oh, when we finished here, I'll go put them back in the box then.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's figure out what he wants next.
Okay, I have put them back in the box. You can just remove them from inventory. All right, he will report that he now has some diagnostic tools, and he reports that other systems throughout the ship are not functioning. He's not exactly sure. None of the other levels are reporting. His command officers on other levels are also not reporting. He appears to be the only operating commander on the ship currently. The helm is also not responding, so the ship is probably currently hurtling through space with no driver and will either crash into a planet, a black hole, or eventually come into contact with whatever launched the object at the ship that has now exposed it to these aliens. You hear like through the intercom that he types some shit in, and he gives you the code for Bulkhead 2. and says that he wants you to report over there. That engine room is also reporting that it is damaged, and he wants you to go fix it. He will also give you the code for elevator number 3, reporting that eventually he wants you kind of as a secondary task, but eventually he does want you to go down to level 1, which is the storage level, and identify the problem with the other 2 main thruster engines and figure out what the hell's going on with the crew on that level not reporting in.
I mean, you think they're all dead at this point?
I mean, he kind of knows that, you know, you could probably take an educated guess that he thinks that they are because they're not reporting in, but, you know, he has to send someone down there to, you know, to be for sure. He's not going to go down there. He's too important. You're disposable.
Yeah, fair.
At any point, if we can find any kind of lighter, let's get the hell out of here.
A lighter?
Well, Argus lighter or whatever. You know, like a little dropship.
Ah, okay.
So I was gonna say, I got a letter right here, bro. You can get out of here anytime.
So that is what he gave you. So please note that you have the code for red bulkhead 2 and yellow bulkhead 3.
Right, since it's the only place we haven't checked, I'm going to assume it's over here. Let's start heading in that direction.
Alright.
Is that all that?
Do you want to take a rest before we go do this? Or...
Yeah, let's head back to the... Well, maybe not a rest, but I'd like to ditch the dog tags again.
As I said, go ahead.
Do we need a rest? Are we tired? Have we been out long enough to do that?
You have, since the last time you rested and ate, it has been about like 6 hours. Like,
yeah,
all combined with all this time spent trying to fix the engine and getting parts and walking around and blah blah blah. So you're about 6 hours away from being 24 hours, which you have not slept yet.
Okay, so let's take a rest.
How long would you like?
We've probably got another 6 hours before we need to sleep.
You have 6 hours before you would be considered like starting to take fatigue levels from no sleep.
Yeah, I would rather get rid of my fatigue levels and not have to take them. So, I say I'm going to sleep for a few hours and probably also work on my armor.
Okay, so you can spend 1 hour working on your armor and like 2 hours sleeping if you work in shifts of 3.
Okay, that works for me.
Okay, so you have worked on your armor, you have gained 2 hours of sleep, and Jimmy has gained 3 hours, or I mean Siegfried has gained 3 hours of sleep. And then Rossetti has just whatever. He will have he will have some negative modifiers applied to him that the player characters will not know of. And then Frank will come down here and he will also kind of like do shifts, so he'll get 3 hours of sleep. Okay, player characters are now considered partially rested. It has now been 24 hours, like entirely.
Come up to here, because the engine thingy's probably here.
Alright, let's do it.
Are you leaving Frank? You're not dragging Frank with you?
I can't move him anymore.
Oh, you cannot move him anymore?
Nope, I can't either.
Okay, never mind. I will have to drag him around because since he's a player character now, or a NPC with a character sheet, I cannot set him to all characters. Well, actually, no, I cannot. Okay, so you look in this room, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
And I will just also get rid of this fog of war here.
There is Bulkhead 2, as I expected.
Okay, well...
So Frank and I will take Overwatch actions, and Jimmy can open the door as I am no longer confident in my button pressing ability.
Fair. Opening door.
Okay. Jimmy punches in the code. Would both player characters make an awareness check, and I will roll for Frank.
Oh hey, look at that! I actually passed one.
Ah, still haven't.
Jimmy does not pass his, or Frank does not pass his awareness test.
He has
You
a
know
target.
nothing.
How could he possibly pass?
He could critically succeed.
Does he? Honestly, if I were you, I'd just use the base guardsman stat from the book. That way, you don't actually need to make him a character sheet.
I mean, I would have to use a character sheet for him anyway.
Fair enough.
Because I'm tracking his ammunition, his equipment he's carrying, and everything else.
Ah, fair enough.
Don't dare question the GM. Okay, who passed? Someone declared. Okay. As this bulkhead starts to open up, you can hear movement on the other side.
I will get ready to shoot said movement, and I will let them know via the microbead that there is movement.
You could also just tell them. They're like within 3 meters.
But I can whisper into the microbead, so I mean, as long as it's quiet, I'll let them know.
You could let Jimmy know Frank does not have a microbead.
Yeah.
I'll make the hand signs for contacts on the other side.
Okay. You use some hand signs, and they are kind of aware of it. Okay. Boom. Frank and Siegfried can go ahead and make their Overwatch shots. Actually, Siegfried, you can't really because you're kind of out of the. Well, I guess you can, but you're gonna take a negative for like he's like partially obscured.
All right, what's the negative?
Take a minus 15 to the ballistic skill test, and I'll let you roll before Frank. Also, what are you shooting with, and what mode?
Rise gun, single shot, normal.
Okay, you score a hit, dealing 6 damage. You see it hit him in the armor. Does not seem to do much. Okay, Frank will now take a shot. Frank will take a. Let me just go from this, it'll be easier. He'll take a half aim. Actually, he'll be considered full aim because it's Overwatch. He will be short range. He will be making a standard. Actually, he's going to semi-auto because he has had very bad experiences with these guys before. He misses. Okay, players, please roll me initiative now.
Well, I thought I rolled low for initiative.
Siegfried, please. There you go. And then the Gene Stealer. This is a plural. Because it's always spelled with an S for some stupid reason. I guess it could be singular. Gene Stealer. Is 11. Okay.
Do we get a surprise round for noticing it was there?
Okay.
Well,
Sorry, what was your question?
do we get a surprise round for noticing it was there?
You do because you passed the awareness check. Jimmy does not because he was punching in the code, and Frank does not because you use the comm bead, and he does not have a comm bead.
I made hand signals, but okay.
Oh. Well, I will just say that Frank was not paying attention. You failed to hit. Okay, it is the Gene Stealer's turn. He is going to charge. Can he charge that far? That is the question. Fortunately, the hell is the stats from... There we go. Yes, he can. I'm just going to plug these in because they should be very similar. Okay, this Gene Stealer is going to charge into Jimmy. And then out of the blue, another one kind of comes out of the shadows. All right, Jimmy, you are being attacked. Which is not the correct character sheet that I wanted to open up. All right, he is making an attack on you. He manages to hit. Would you like to try to dodge? You can also attempt to parry it.
Oh, I could do that too.
You need parry. You really like the next thing you buy with your XP really needs to be dodge.
Yeah, it is.
Like, what did you spend last time's XP on?
Armor Monger
You,
and Technical Knock.
you really need to buy a dodge.
Yeah, no, starting to realize that real quick here. You don't gotta tell me 3 times.
That is like the first thing I always buy, even if it's originally. Because the one time I did not, I died within the first session. I had 3 fate points.
Jesus.
Yeah, auto cannons are no joke.
Okay, you take 11 damage, pen 4. So make sure you apply your soak. Remember, pen 4 only, the penetration only applies to the armor, not the overall soak.
Okay, so armor's 4, penetration's 4, so I take 7 damage.
That is correct.
13 minus 7, that's 4, 6. Okay.
Okay, it is now Siegfried's turn.
I will take a semi-auto shot at the one that is... oh hell, it's frozen up. Okay, it's unfrozen. Yeah, I'll... And that's short range. How did I get another 98? So I miss.
Okay. Jimmy, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm at point blank, so I'm just gonna roll to shoot him in the face.
Are you spending a half action to draw your pistol?
Yes.
Okay, you spend a half action to draw your pistol. And then you're going to point blank him. Are you firing it on single shot or full auto?
Single shot.
Are you sure?
Standard.
You have a full health Gene Stealer in combat with you currently.
Yeah, screw it. I'll go full.
I mean, as long as you got the ammo, I would recommend that you probably go full.
Yeah, full is 6 shots, right? 6.
Yeah, you'll get point blank, so that'll be plus 30, so it will more than negate the negatives you get.
Okay, full auto. Eat lead, motherfucker.
You score 5, or is that 6 or 5? 2 to, so 52 would be 5, so that's 6, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you score 6 hits, so go ahead and roll damage 6 times.
Damage
You may. Yeah, roll 6 damages.
4, 5, 6.
And then
You
make
can
sure
replace-
you take off 6 ammo.
And
Yeah.
you can replace that 3 with 6, and the 5 with 6. So that would be 996676. Hey, that's my PIN number. You know what? Forget I said that.
See, unfortunately for you, I'm streaming this, so now like anyone that watches this video now knows your PIN number. What's your bank account number, by the way? Let me send you some money.
Let's what country are you from? I gotta hack you real quick.
Okay, you deal some damage.
I dealt a lot of damage.
Actually, no, that would be, yeah. Okay. It is now Frank's turn. Frank is going to use his las gun, and he is going to semi-auto into the one that entered the doorway, because he is not entirely too willing to shoot into combat with you.
Okay.
Unless you basically scream out that you want him to, which I will let you do as a free action. It is your decision. Keep in mind that if he gets any degrees of failure, every degree of failure he gets counts as a hit on you.
Let him focus on the other one. Me and Siegfried got this guy.
Okay, he will shoot at the other one. He is going to take a half-action aim. He is short range. He is semi-autoing. He gets 2 hits. Or no, that would be 2. Yeah, no, that would be 2. Okay, he got a Righteous Fury, which I do the simple. Since it is a non-named PC, I don't do this table for critical damage, so I just do an extra D10 damage. Or I mean, an extra D5. Okay, so he took enough damage. He did enough damage to down this guy.
Frank is on fire today.
Damn. Frank's pissed off. They almost took him out once.
Okay, it is now the Gene Stealer's turn. The Gene Stealer looks really pissed that you fucking shot him like 6 times, and he is going to attack you again.
Cool. Bring it, bitch.
He manages to hit you just barely by like.
See, that one point was
fuck on.
Yeah, see, that one point was because you told him to bring it. And if he hadn't been a gobshite, he would have missed that.
Would you like to roll a dodge?
I will attempt a dodge, but I make no promises because I am clearly Gohan in all of this.
And I am Piccolo telling you to dodge.
What the shit?
He deals 15 pen 4, which is going to put you into criticals for sure. So let me know what your critical is, and then I have to look up the critical table.
I don't even have like a critical typed in here.
You just you go negatives.
What health are you on with like right now?
I'm at 6 wounds.
All right. What toughness do you have?
Toughness is 30.
Right, then you take 12 damage. So you're on -6.
So I'm pretty dead right now, aren't I?
No.
No, not necessarily.
That would be a 47. So 47 is.
I'm trying to find this stupid critical chart real quick.
47 is body. So you would be taking rending 6 to the body.
I need to write down what the hell page this critical chart is on. Because I did not see it in the index.
Critical starts on page 257.
You are a godsend.
Rending critical to the body 6 is the mighty attack takes a sizable chunk out of the target and knocks him to the ground as he clutches the oozing wound, shrieking in pain. The target is knocked prone and suffers 1d10 toughness damage and blood loss.
What page is that?
264.
257 is the start. 264, you said?
Yeah.
So that should be like 265 for me. Rending to the body. He is at -6. You said?
-6.
Mighty attack takes a sizable chunk out of the target and knocks him to the ground. He clutches the using streaks. Okay, so you are knocked prone. And you suffer D10 toughness damage. So, roll a D10. Jimmy.
Roll a D10.
Yep. Your toughness is now permanently reduced by 4. So your toughness is now...
I don't think it's permanent. He needs to rest and have medical attention.
Oh, is it? I thought it was permanent damage.
I don't think it's permanent, but it is until he receives something.
So, and then do under conditions
Characteristic
bleeding out.
Damage. Unless otherwise specified, characteristic damage is never permanent.
Oh, okay.
Character automatically recovers 1 point of characteristic damage each hour, regardless of his activity level. The GM may allow certain types of medical attention to remove characteristic damage at a faster rate. 157.
Alright, cool. Thank you. Alright, so I will mark that your toughness is now... It is now stat-wise 26, but I have marked in your notes that your original is 30.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, you are now knocked prone, which is that one.
Do I put that under conditions, or...?
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have blood loss, which I don't know what the hell blood loss does off the top of my head.
He has to roll 1d10 each turn. If he rolls a 10, he dies.
Is it? I thought that was bleeding.
That's blood loss.
Oh, is it?
Bleeding and blood loss are the same thing. So we have to go get him to the medic as soon as this is over.
What page is the blood loss rule on? Do you know offhand?
All that stuff starts on 257, so it'll probably be around there.
Is it? So it's just at the top somewhere under injury. Damage, critical damage, removing damage, fatigue, wounds.
It's not there, which is strange.
Leg loss. Okay, here we go. Blood loss. He has a 10% chance of dying each round unless he is treated in some way. If the suffering current is unconscious, he may have a difficult Medicaid test each round to start the bleeding. All right. Whose turn is it? Oh, it'll be your turn after this. Okay, so Jimmy, remember that on your turn you get a Medicaid test to attempt to stop bleeding yourself.
Okay. All right, and then each turn I have to roll a d10.
And then if you roll a 1, you just die instantly.
roll a 1 or a 10, I die instantly. All right.
Oh, it's just
No,
a
it's just a 1.
Oh, just a 1. Just okay. All right.
All right. So, Siegfried, it is your turn. Jimmy has been knocked to the floor, his chest has been cut open, and he is clutching his bleeding chest.
Right. I'm going to rush to the aid of my friend and charge the Gene Stealer.
Okay. I believe you actually attached your...
I do have my bayonet on the end of my knife.
Okay, go ahead and roll your...
Do I get any bonuses? Because there's another guy technically in combat, but he is losing.
No, he is knocked prone. He is not considered like in combat, actively fighting.
Oh, hot damn.
You score a hit. Okay, you deal 10 damage, which is enough to...
That would actually be 12, because I haven't added my strength. But yes,
I'm pretty sure these actually automatically adds the strength.
I might do that then. Okay, never mind.
You rolled a d10, blah blah blah, so you rolled an 8, plus 0, plus floor of 26 divided by 10. So is your strength 26?
Yeah, it did. It
okay, so then yeah. Alright, so you deal 10 damage, which is enough to kill him. So you charge into combat and you jab this bayonet in this dude's like esophagus or some shit like that, and this thing just like screams out as you're just like frantically constantly shoving this bayonet in deeper and deeper and deeper as you bring it to the ground, and you just pull out your bayonet attached to your las gun and scream out like "Ah!" as this thing has gone to the ground. Jimmy, it is now your turn technically.
So
make
roll a d10?
Nope. Well, first off, roll the Medicaid test. See if you can stop your bleeding.
Okay. Where?
At difficulty 1, so that'd be minus 10. Which may technically be impossible for you, but you can always succeed on a critical success. No, you do not. You frantically try clutching onto your chest as like your chest cavity has kind of opened up and there's just blood and shit just pouring out quite profusely. Roll a d10.
After that, Frank and I are going to drag him back to Rossetti.
Alright, you have not managed to die.
You are lucky the GM decided to use 1 rather than 10.
Yeah, I like using 1s as the worst and 10s as the best, so.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna drag Jimmy back.
You have managed to hold your like body enough on that roll of a 10 to not suffer blood loss as a round of blood loss as they drag you to Rossetti. Because I was gonna make you take one in between, but on a 10 I'll let you not do that.
So it is now Rossetti's time to shine to put the blood back where it is supposed to be.
Rossetti will attempt to stop the bleeding because he cannot medicate. Like, he cannot put wounds back on, currently, because he has already received medical attention.
At this point, it would actually be extended care, which is... It's not giving him health back, but it's getting him out of criticals.
Rossetti, here we go. Yeah, I don't know much about the medical stuff, but I know for a fact that he can only medicate 1 time per 24 hours to actually put wounds back.
He can use first aid once per thing. Extended care. A character trained in the Medicaid skill can also perform extended care, treating a number of patients equal to his intelligence bonus. That's not really that doesn't really matter.
Just give me the page number. I'll look at it.
126. It is under the Medicaid skill. Page 126.
Oh, here we go. Extended care. Well, he succeeded the Medicaid test.
So Jimmy is no longer bleeding.
His patient removes twice the normal of damage normally recovered by the natural rate of healing. Removing critical first. On top of this, each patient removes 1 point of damage per degree of success that the healer scores on the test, and 1 additional for they to proceed beyond this point. Wait, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna put, just to simplify this, Jimmy, you're at 0 wounds. Screw it.
Okay. All right.
You're no longer profusely bleeding, and you're at 0 wounds.
Okay.
Okay. What would the player characters like to do?
Since Jimmy is pretty injured, let's take a nap.
Take a rest. Yeah, let's take a rest.
Let's take the full, say, we've already slept for 3 hours each. Yeah, let's sleep 8 hours.
Yeah.
Long enough till you can get some more medical attention.
Yeah.
You are severely hurt.
Yeah. I go back out there, I probably will die this time.
Next hit will take you into criticals again. And if you hit, I think it's 8. It might be less for rending, but you will instantly die. There are a number of criticals that you just die.
Oh, okay, cool.
Keep in mind, you can always burn a fate point to ignore all damage.
Okay.
Which, you know, if you only have one, would then mean that you have 0 fate points for the rest of your character's life, but you would avoid dying. Or you would avoid taking the damage that would kill you.
Oh boy, okay. Alright.
Okay, so you choose to sleep for, like, I'm just going to say 10 hours. You fall asleep, you oversleep a little bit during your shifts, whatever. You're considered well rested. Each character will gain their toughness bonus and wounds back, like, naturally.
Okay.
Which I'm pretty sure would put Siegfried at full, and Jimmy, you would get, like, 2? Or 3?
2 wounds.
He will probably get 2, and it now means he can be medicated again, which is the important thing.
Yeah. Alright, so Rossetti will attempt another Medicaid.
I'll eat a ration, so I'll just put...
Which I have closed Rossetti's.
Actually, I'll yeah, screw it. So I will be fine for 12 hours, as I have begun eating the rations, which I'm going to assume is essentially 3 ration bars a day.
Okay, he tries to perform first aid on you, Jimmy, and he's unable to do it. You've had so much medical stuff performed on you in the last 24-ish hours. Actually, we're almost on 48 now, so like 36 hours. That he's just like I can't do anything right now. Like there's nothing I could do. I stapled you up the best I could. You just gotta heal a little bit naturally first.
Okay. Well,
now we're gonna. You got to stay behind us then.
You know what? Let me rest. Siegfried, Frank, you two go. If things get hairy, come back.
We'll clear the room, and then you got to come and fix the engines.
Yes. So just let me rest. Let me get my health back, and come back and get me when you need me.
I'll take Frank up to where we killed the Gene Stealers, and where we hope the next engines are.
Okay.
Okay. You look in the room.
All right. And I am gonna go AFK for the moment.
Okay.
I will search this box, because I like the look of that box.
As you walk in the room, would you please make me an awareness test? And I will roll for Frank too.
Nope.
Why does he have a target of 0? Oh, that's because I put the stupid... I'm dumb.
Does he have above 18?
He rolled, yeah, he rolled an 18. So he passes. Frank hears something in that room, and he tells you that flat out before you start searching that box.
Right, I'll point my gun towards that door.
Okay.
And then we will wait for the Gene Stealer, because that is what it is.
You hear movement in that room, but it does not seem to be too intent on coming out, or it has not noticed you.
Oh,
You're not exactly sure.
I'll move forward slightly with my gun trained on the door, ready to shoot the first thing that comes out of there.
It still has some pretty poor lighting in there, as for some reason this room is still on emergency lighting, probably due to the engines being damaged or something.
I'll turn on my illuminator and shine it into the room, more on the hopes that it will get the thing to come out. And I'll tell Frank to be ready.
Okay, so you shine your flashlight on. The flashlight will require one hand to use.
Okay.
Are
I'll
you?
Pull my auto.
So you're
I'll put my lasgun on my back, pull my auto pistol, shine the flashlight in there.
All right, you wave your flashlight around. I'm assuming, trying to get some attention.
Yep.
All right, you hear a shriek, and a Gene Stealer charges out. He gets about up to there, and then you can make your Overwatch.
Okie dokie.
You managed to get one hit. If you were firing single shot.
Okay.
You did not tell me ahead of time.
I was firing single shot.
Okay, you score a hit for 11 damage.
And then it would be nice if Frank would do the same. And I will roll my I got a 7.
Oh, I was just gonna roll off the whatever, because Frank's gonna... But, alright, cool, thank you. Frank is going to take a shot with his lasgun. He is going to semi-auto burst.
Come on, Frank, save my ass.
Is that within 3 meters? I do not think so. It is not within 3 meters. Alright, he will take a... He is considered full aim for Overwatch. He is short range. He is semi-autoing. He scores 2 hits. Or no, that's 1 hit, isn't it? Yeah, it's every 2 degrees of success, so that would be...
That is
still no, would it?
Hits.
Yeah, no, it would, yeah, because 30, it's... Yeah, it's like 2.1 degrees of success or something.
2 degrees. So it would be 2.2.
Yeah, but you count as getting one. You automatically get the 1 hit, and then it's every 2 degrees of success. So that would be 4, 5, 6. So yeah, 63 would have been 2 degrees. So like I said, it's like 2.1 degrees or something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, two damages. He downs it. Frank is really good at killing these guys. He consistently keeps rolling these righteous furies.
He has a grudge. I can, I can respect that.
You know what? Just for fluff reasons, I am going to give Frank hatred Tyranids. Just for fun fluff.
Okay, then I'm going to search this box. Now that the Tyranids are dead.
Well, you think so?
I hope they are.
You could take another perception check to try to find out.
Okay, I will take another perception check to try and find out.
I mean, I would recommend it. You're all lucky that I'm just making you take perception checks when NIDs are nearby, instead of you guys taking it of your own volition. Because eventually I'm going to stop doing that, and then you're going to be like, I'm going to check this box, and then you're just going to get your back sliced open.
Okay, I pass. Literally on the head, not on the nose.
You don't hear anything.
I am going to check the box.
You open up that box. There is one autogun clip. and then just some random tools and stuff, and another flashlight.
I'll give the flashlight to Frank if he doesn't have one.
Frank should have one as standard guardsman kit. You can acquire one autogun clip. The autogun clip will be 75% full.
Okay, so I will. What number?
An autogun clip is, I believe, 18.
Hmm.
So you have 75% of 18.
Okay.
Which is 13.5 rounded up, you get 14.
Okay, so that's 14.
And then I will consider that box empty.
And then I will check in this room with my lad's gun out.
The room is empty.
Right, I'll microbead Jimmy and tell him to get up here, and that we will need help with the engines.
Okay. Jimmy will be notified. Would you like to take a quick break?
I have to go at 9. Well,
Yeah, so like 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want, we can notify Jimmy. I will just drag Jimmy over here and we can end it. Because I did say the session would end at 3, but I just wanted to...
Okay. That would be good for me, assuming he doesn't come back.
He will be back, but he'll be back in like probably 3 minutes, and then I was going to say take a 5-minute break, so there'd only be 5 minutes left in the end of the session.
Okay.
So would you like to go now, or would you just like to take a break? And...
Yeah, if we could end it now, that would be great.
Okay, we will end it now. I will award, let's see, what did you do? You fixed one of the generators, the engines, which was 2 key items. I will grant, and Frank is still alive, so that's good. Let's see, what else? You have almost completed the second objective. I will grant 100 XP. Actually, I'll grant 125 XP for both objectives each, so that would be 250 for completing the 2 objectives, and another 50 XP just for session survival. So overall, you have acquired 300 XP for this session.
Okay.
Congratulations. And then I will throw that in Jimmy's, since he's still AFK.
So we are currently on a total of 1,150 XP.
That is correct. Other than Rossetti, who will not get any XP this... I'll give him some XP, but he is not getting full XP. So he will be behind on XP as a penalty for not showing up. Okay. Well, thanks for coming around. See you guys next week.
See ya.